Hey, welcome back to my channel. Chrissy Explains it all. So, did you happen to catch that episode of Potomac last night? Episode 2. It was good. So, let's go ahead and get into it because I got some explaining to do. And as always, if I'm going to explain, I got to explain it all. Episode 2, season 6, Potomac. What did you think? What did you think? What were your thoughts? I got my own thoughts. I got some stuff I want to explain and get off my chest about the episode. I think it was good. It was definitely entertainment. This was definitely a filler episode. Of course, you know we're going to get a lot of that before we get to the real drama, to the juicy parts of it. But it was good. One thing that I did pick up on that was interesting was I'm noticing that they're doing like the two people, the double confessionals where they have like the couples in the confessionals, kind of like mimicking a little bit after if you watch Married to Medicine. You know, Married to Medicine, the spouses sit together in the confessional cams, and they had Chris and they had Candace together, and Giselle with her daughter Grace. I thought it was cute. I like the double confessionals. It opened up and we were right back where we left off last week, still at the table eating dinner. This episode's name was actually called Sing Sing for Supper. And if you watched the show, then you saw that that actually came from some shade that Karen kind of threw at Giselle, and I myself was confused because I'm like, Sing Sing, we talking about Singapore? Like, I didn't really catch on to the shade. However, later on, I'm finding out that this was kind of like Karen was throwing some shade at Giselle's mental health. People were saying that Sing Sing is like a mental place or a prison or some sort. And you know, it was all of that tea that Giselle was actually in a mental hospital at one point because of Jamal, you know, some depression or something like that. But find that out on your own because that ain't none of my business. But that was where Karen was pulling that shade from. So at this point, Giselle versus Karen, these two are like frenemies. You really don't know what they're fighting about. They've been fighting for so long. All 6 seasons we have seen Giselle and Karen go at it. And it's like, what are y'all fighting about? It's so silly at this point. But Karen kind of makes a point to say that back in, well, I'm going to say it had to be like season 1 or season 2. It had to be because it was like this old clip where Giselle kind of said something about Ray, and well, she wasn't really even saying anything. Ray was, the producers threw the clip back, and Ray was talking to Giselle and told her that, you know, her looks were gonna fade. And in her confessional, she just said, you know, my looks aren't gonna fade. You know, he'll be dead and gone before these looks fade. You know what I'm saying? It was nothing evil about it. It was some, you know, funny shade. But Karen obviously took it to heart because she brought it back up, and they made the point to say, well, what's the big deal? You know, Robin had to jump in to Giselle's defense, as she often and always does, because she just the sidekick, Robin, with the perfect name, Robin, the sidekick. So, you know, she had to come to her girl Giselle's defense, and she had to say, well, Karen, what was the big deal? What? Karen said that her kids were young. And I like to give out my Shade Queen of the Week. Let me just go ahead and give that out now. I'm going to have to give it to, I can't even give it to a housewife. I have to give it to the editors, the producers of this show. They are so shady. Just the way that they threw that clip back showing showing Karen and Uncle Ben kissing, you know, at the party that they threw years ago, when the daughter and the son were sitting there watching, and they put the age up on the screen. Her daughter was like 19, the son was 27, basically a grown man. Those kids were not hurt by Giselle's little shade, little fun shade. Come on, Karen. Come up with something else. But, you know, so Robin had to jump in it, of course, and then Wendy kind of got into it, and she was like, well, this is between Giselle and Karen and no one else. And then, you know, Robin in her confessional then wanted to talk about Wendy and throw some shade. Girl, talking about Wendy all of a sudden switching up. No, she ain't switching up. She just got some common sense, because at the end of the day, it is between Giselle and Karen. Let Giselle fight her own battles. That's one of the things that irks me about Potomac. They always think that some disagreement between two people is their business. Is the whole group business. It's not. If two people want to have, let two people go ahead. Let those two people handle it. It's all good. But so that was the dinner portion. So we got to see a little bit more of Mia this episode, which I could appreciate, and I definitely enjoyed. I definitely got to see, you know, a different side of her, getting a glimpse into her home life. The verdict is still out for Mia. For me, I'm not sure what I really think. I'm just gonna wait and see. You know, looks like she might be a pretty good match for this group though, because she can kind of hang with all the shade and everything. But you know, Mia has a beautiful penthouse, beautiful family, has 3 kids. We got to see her husband, her older husband. And when she said that the man was 68, I was expecting somebody to be, you know, somebody who had gone to school with Uncle Ben, with Karen's husband, you know what I'm saying? But this man actually looked good. So he definitely had some swagger to him. So I'm interested to see what this is going to be like for Mia. You know, she definitely, I will say, she is a boss. She was handling her business, and she was tending to the kids. And it was cute how she said, you know, with the little moment between her and her daughter Juju, where she said, who run the world? And Juju said, the bad guys. But we know who run the world. It's the girls. We can bear the children and make the millions. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Beyonce. But she was running her business and tending to the kids and everything. So shout out to Mia. We gonna see. You know, the verdict is still out, so we haven't decided yet. But it was good to see, you know, Mia. So Candace, this week, we got to see her filming. She's filming the pilot and auditioning for pilot season. And I'm really proud of Candace. I mean, all the Candace haters out there, I'm not one. I love Candace. I stand for Candace. And I don't care what anybody says. I'm a Candace lover. But I'm so proud of Candace, because she is going for what she wants. I mean, and she says she wants to be taken seriously as an actor. And there's no reason why she can't be. I actually did catch her on the family reunion on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, watch it. She did a very good job. So I'm very interested to see how far Candace can take this acting thing. She mentioned that Chris is her husbander. So I guess that means Chris really ain't got no job. Not sure what happened. Well, on Watch What Happens Live, I believe they said that they had sold the restaurant. But so Chris is managing Candace. So we'll see what's more in store for them. I think Candace is gonna have a good season. I think she's gonna have a good season, and we definitely seeing a different side of Candace. So Ashley, and let me just tell you right now, I'm not an Ashley fan. I'm not going to go into it right now. I'm not going to give you a reason right now why I'm not an Ashley fan. But Ashley just has not been my favorite. Oftentimes when she gets into fights, it's just, I feel like she just be on the wrong side of it. And I don't know. I'm just not an Ashley fan. But Ashley is starting off, we've only had 2 episodes, but starting off, Ashley has not gotten on my nerves quite yet. But I know she will. But I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. Ashley has not been that bad. So she kind of might turn it around where I start to like her. Because at first I did like her, but then I didn't like her. But maybe I might start to like her again. Because it feels like motherhood has done something for her where she's more bearable for me. But anywho, we have Ashley and she's talking to her mom. And talking about her relationship with her husband. And she actually gave just a little bit too much information. I mean, well, I feel like Ashley overshares all the time, but this was a little bit awkward for me. She was sitting there having a conversation with her mama just about her sex life, and she made a comment about having two holes and rolling over on her side and letting Michael use another hole. I really don't know what hole she was talking about, and I really don't want to know because I'm a visual person, and anytime somebody starts talking, I'm going to visualize. And I just do not like visualizing sex when anybody who is eligible for a Social Security check is involved. I do not want to visualize senior citizen sex. I really just don't. But, you know, her mom was, you know, very into the conversation. A little bit too much. Because, I mean, like I said, it's just, I love my mom. God bless the dead. However, it's just some things I would never talk about her, you know, talk to her about. And that's just one of those things. And Sheila was just too comfortable listening to Ashley about the sex conversation. But I guess, you know, Sheila gonna sit there and listen to whatever she need to listen to because she got to get her bills paid. So she gonna encourage Ashley, yeah, baby, whatever you need to do, make sure you know my rent is due. So do whatever you need to do to make sure Michael writes that check. But to each his own, I just thought it was very weird. But we're going to see, you know, what's going on with Ashley. I'm going to give her a chance. But that conversation was just a little bit too weird for me. I was sitting there like, when the conversation is going to be over? So we get a scene with Robin and Giselle. And Robin pulled up to Giselle's house in a Kia. I'm not one to ever talk about anybody's cars. Believe me, I'm not. But I would think if I was on TV and I was supposed to be affluent and from the suburban Potomac, I'll be pulling up in something else. I mean, rent something, girl. But I will say that somebody had said something to her about it on Instagram, and she said that it was a rental car. But okay, girl, it was a rental. Yeah. So anywho, this is Robin's first time going over to Giselle's house, and I was very surprised that Robin threw some shade at her BFF because she talked about the house and how horrible it looked on the outside. And I'm just going to say, you know, I'm not an architect or anything like that, but that house was horrible. I mean, it looked like it looks like I literally could have drew that house. Like, it looks like I did draw that house. Like, I was the one who put those plans together. The outside, horrible. Remember, Candace called it a $900,000 tear down last season, or the season before, one of them. Well, doesn't matter when, but, you know, it looks like it needs to be torn down again. But, anywho, we go inside. We get to see a little bit of the house inside. The interior of the house is beautiful. She showed us this beautiful closet that she has, but there were no beautiful fashions, you know. Giselle is not, she's not a fashion girl at all. So all those dreadful outfits that she wears was sitting right there hanging up. So Robin and, you know, Giselle, they have a conversation. Giselle makes a comment about needing to christen her Versace comforter set that she had on her bed. Is it a trend? I'm finding a trend. Is it a trend when you get a new house that you just gotta have some kind of Versace something? Versace. Because I can remember when Kim moved into not her dream house. Well, she said it was her dream house, but it was a rental. And when it's your dream house, you buy it, you don't rent it. But anywho, when she was moving into that rental that she had, Kendra's house that she was renting, she made such a big deal, such a fuss about having Versace china that was in storage for so long. And I remember, like, it cost like $300 per set or whatever. But anywho, I just had in my head, my mind went back to that when Giselle just made a big deal about the Versace comforter, which to me really wasn't all that. But she said she needed to christen it, and so that brought up Jamal. And we all know they not together. So she finally admitted that Jamal really does live in her phone. She kept it real and said Jamal really was living in the phone. So, story short, they not together as they never were. We knew it. The jig is up. So over at the professor's house, we see her family get together, which I really have to say I enjoy. Because I just love hearing her talk about her Nigerian culture, and I do enjoy the antics and everything from her mom. Her mom is hilarious, like really. So Wendy, you know, had to get together with her family, and they cooked a little bit or whatever, and her, you know, they were talking about the surgery that she's had. Her mom said that she wants some work done herself. But really, the whole point of the meeting, family meeting, was Wendy wanted to announce that she was her passion is for, not for, you know, what she's been doing. It's she wants to make candles. She wanted to be a candlestick maker. I find that real funny. But you know that now that I think about it, I'm like, Wendy, you really shouldn't have been so mean to Monique. Because Monique has her essential oils and everything, and you know she making money off of that. So she probably could have helped you with your candles, because you need to make sure they smell good. Make sure them candles smell good, and make sure they don't burn nobody's house down. You know what I'm saying? Monique might have been your girl. She might have been your girl if that's what you wanted to do. But we're gonna see how far Wendy goes with this candlestick making. So at the end of the episode, we got like a little cast thing going on. I mean, Karen had something at her house. I thought it was cute. It was like a little couples thing. They played games and hung out, and like everybody who was a couple showed up, and the ones, let's just say some people was missing. I mean, Giselle didn't come because she ain't got no man. Robin didn't come because she ain't got no man. Oh, Lord. I'm so glad Juan Dixon is not here right now. Anyway, moving on. So, yeah, so Candace and Chris showed up. Wendy and Eddie were there. Mia and her husband showed up. Ashley came, and she actually came without Michael. He was home. She said that he stayed home with the baby, where he should have been, where he needed to be, where he needed to stay. He needed to be with that baby. But anyway, I enjoyed not seeing Michael. But anywho, Ashley showed up, you know, in good sports to still come and, you know, be in the loop. However, this kind of turned into a little bit of MIA versus Wendy, because Mia and Wendy started going at it. I mean, Wendy kind of brought up how Mia was trying to get in good with Robin and Giselle, getting their phone number when she should have been loyal to Karen. And then, you know, Mia was giving it back to her, just, you know, giving it right back to her. But, you know, this is so typical that Mia and Wendy are going to be the ones who kind of clash. I mean, it's new girl versus new girl, and Wendy would pick on the new girl. Why don't you pick on somebody your own size? So yeah, so I kind of, my hope is that the thing between MIA and Wendy will kind of, you know, taper off, because I don't want to see them fighting. I mean, it's just so typical that those two would be the ones to fight. But, you know, we done all seen the preview, so we all know who Wendy gonna get into it with later on. So, that was the episode. Drop down in the comments. Tell me what you think. I know it was a short recap, but I done said and explained all I'm gonna explain. If you wanted to know more, then you should have watched the episode for yourself. As always, like and subscribe. It's been real. It's been nice. It's been real nice. But I gotta go. I'm out of time. So, until next time, don't do nothing you gonna have to explain. Because you know your girl, Chrissy, explains it all.